Hello, welcome back to another FPL video. Hope everyone is doing well. We've come to the end of Game Week 33 already, looking ahead to Game Week 34, specifically today at those essentials who could basically take you until the end of the season, players who I think could be essential until the end of the season. If you are new around here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for daily FPL content, hit the like button if you do enjoy the video, and let's get straight on into this one. So firstly here we are looking at the attackers, and you see straight there in the middle the main man Harry Kane coming in this season with 21 goals, 13 assists and expected goal return of basically 1 per game of 0.88. He's just, he literally is essential. Probably one of the only players who can be classed as like the essential of essential. The rest of them you can kind of question whether they are, whereas Harry Kane, you have to have him in your team, otherwise you are dropping rank. Now there is a little bit of an injury concern over him. He did play in the Manchester City game, or the final, the EFL Cup final, but did look a bit leggy in that game. But considering he's playing in that game, I don't kind of think that he'll then get benched for the next one. I don't know, maybe with the kind of England coming up, the Euros, he may get a benching there, but I very much think he will play, and a very good captaincy option for that. Then we move on to Kelechi Iheanacho. His ownership is going up and up and up week on week as he just continues to bang 2 back-to-back double point hauls, getting a goal and assist against Crystal Palace, coming in this season with 10 goals, 1 assist, and expected goal return is very similar to Harry Kane, considering Iheanacho hasn't really played that much this season. Only of late has he been absolutely banging, and just looks like a cracking option for basically the rest of the season. It looks like he can score in any game. Whenever he picks up the ball, he does look like he's going to score, or at least lay the ball off like he did, took a stand just on our plate. And Kelechi Iheanacho looks like a very, very tidy option. And we have Patrick Bamford. Now, this isn't to say that either Bamford or Iheanacho are necessary, like you really, really have to have them. But I do think it's getting to the stage where your rank will drop if you don't owe them, and quite heavily as well, considering how well Iheanacho did. With Bamford's fixtures coming up, your rank could drop quite heavily if you don't own Bamford, especially with the back end of the season that Leeds do have. The hardest fixture they have is against Spurs, and from an attacking perspective, Spurs have actually been quite a good fixture this season. Bamford coming in with 14 goals, 7 assists this season, and expected goal return of 0.64, which the way that Bielsa Leeds side play, they're always going to be going for goals. Even if they are losing a game, there's always the chance that Bamford can score. And as I say, with the fixtures that Leeds do have, I think that Bamford could be a very, very good option, if not essential, due to ownership for the back end of the season. Then we take a look at the midfielders, and I think this is where the kind of most of the discussion is to be had on what players are essential. Now, Mohamed Salah coming in, the main central guy there, because I think loads of people are going to be trying to bring Salah in over the next few game weeks. With 20 goals and 3 assists so far this season, he's definitely still in the running for the Golden Boot, just 1 goal behind Harry Kane, with an expected goal return of 0.75, so a bit lower than, say, the likes of Fernandes or Kane, but Salah being the selfish player that he is, and all 3 of them are actually on penalties as well. But it does kind of bode well for Salah with the fixtures that he has, how involved that he is getting. Manchester United don't really have to play for much. And let me just run through Bruno Fernandes' stats here quickly, because I'm very much going to be talking about both of them kind of interchangeably. So you've got 16 goals for Bruno, 11 assists so far this season, expected goal return of 0.8, so just higher than Mohamed Salah, but Bruno does rely on penalties a little bit more. Now, the thing is, with Bruno, he does have a potential double game week coming up in game week 35. So if you do own him, it may be worth holding on until we get some more information regarding that. But with that being said, Salah definitely does have the better fixtures until the back end of the season. Only 1 red fixture lined up, and that is the next game week against Manchester United. And from there on out, it is just an absolute sea of green for Liverpool. So I do think Mohamed Salah is definitely the better option, in my opinion, of the 2. It's just whether is Bruno Fernandes still essential. His effective ownership is still very, very high. So if he does do well, your rank is likely to go down. However, with the way that he's been playing, with a potential blank in game 36, as I say, I'd probably hold on for the potential of a double game 35, but then I'd definitely be shipping him out, probably to Mohamed Salah. But if you do have Salah and you don't have Bruno, I also wouldn't be making the transfer from Salah to Bruno, as Salah will then play in 36 and is a very good captaincy option until the rest of the season. So for me, Mohamed Salah is a cracking cracking option. I don't think I'll be transferring in Bruno. Wouldn't necessarily be transferring out at this point, but I would be transferring in Salah. And then the next player we go to is Jesse Lingard, coming in with 9 goals, a 3.6 expected goal of 0.59. He's been so good for West Ham with the back end of the season. Kind of like Leeds that West Ham do have. You can very much see Lingard being the main man up front currently. Antonio might come back, he might not, but Lingard is where all the creativity is kind of going through. So I do think he is actually pretty essential. In your milli leagues, you'll probably be losing out if you don't own Lingard, especially from an overall perspective. You will be losing out if you do not own Lingard. So I do think that Lingard can actually be considered in the kind of close to essentials bracket, maybe not as much as the likes of Mohamed Salah, but Lingard definitely states his kind of claim to be classed in the essentials bracket. I do want to give a quick mention to Heung-min Son, a player that a lot of people I think still will own, a player with a high effective ownership. Now, if you can go from Son to Salah, I don't think that's a bad move at all. But I don't think I'd be getting out Son. Whether he is essential, it's kind of, if Kane is fit, then I think Son will have a great back end of the season and could actually be considered as essential. And obviously coming off the back of that blank game week, they now play against Sheffield United. So that's a cracking kind of game week for them to come back into. So I do think that Son could be considered as like an outside essential as well. Then moving on to the final category, and that is the defenders. Now, it's a bit harder for any of the defenders to say, these guys are absolutely essential because the ownership isn't actually too high for one specific defender. It's not like Trent last year, as we see Trent there in the middle with 9 clean sheets and expected goal against of 1.16, one of the actual best kind of expected goals against in the league. I think only Chelsea and Man City have better expected goals against and a goal return of 0.3 basically, and once in every 3 games almost, you're expecting attack and return from Trent. But yeah, as I was saying, it's not kind of like last year with Trent kind of, everyone was owning him. His effective ownership was absolutely through the roof. This year, Dallas, the main man next to him, is actually the highest owned player for this season. That's kind of why he's in here. He's got clean sheets of 10 so far this season. Leeds have picked up 10 clean sheets. Expected goals against of 1.71. That kind of entails that when they do concede, they concede a lot, and you've got expected goals returns 0.16. But the thing is with, I guess, all of these 3 players, they're very hauly kind of plays. They can bring in the big points when it counts. I think Trent will almost become essential with the fixtures that they do have, the points that he is likely to get, but it is a very premium option. So if Trent is kind of stopping you from getting the likes of Salah in, or even the likes of Harry Kane, or just a very good option elsewhere on the pitch, maybe don't go for him. But I do think that Trent is a very good pick towards the back end of the season, and his ownership is definitely going up and up and up. With Dallas, he's just such a good value for money. Not only value for money, but he will get you the points, and does also have that kind of haul potential that we absolutely love to see at this stage of the season. But he's 26% owned, so if you don't own him, I feel like it's not the absolute end of the world. He is the most owned kind of defender, but it isn't the absolute end of the world, because I reckon your rank would just probably stay the same. You go down a little bit. But if you do own him and he hauls, especially personally in my mini league, not many people do have him in your mini leagues. If you get Dallas in, and with the fixtures they have, I think he's got a very good chance of hauling. And then the last man there is Luke Shaw for Manchester United. They picked up 13 clean sheets so far this season, and they've definitely turned it around defensively in the kind of second half of the season. Expected goals against of 1.31, which is kind of just above average. They're doing pretty well, and expected goal return from Luke Shaw of 0.25. I kind of wish now that I'd got Luke Shaw into my team. He just looks so good going forward, like he's going to get attacking returns 4 days, and it's very good for the bonus points as well. And as I said, all 3 of these guys have haul potential to kind of send you up the leaderboards for the back end of the season. And with these defenders, they're not all ridiculously owned, so I still do think that bringing them in will obviously increase your rank by quite a bit. If you don't own them, obviously it isn't the end of the world, but I do think these are kind of 3 main guys to be looking towards for the back end of the season. So if you have enjoyed this video, please don't forget to hit that like button. Let me know down in the comments players you are thinking about bringing in for Game Week 34 with just a general view. Basically until the back end of the season, we're looking to those players who can really bring us the points, but also make sure we kind of have a bit of a template of a team, so we're not really losing out. If you're new around here, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button for daily FPL content, and I will catch you in the next one. See ya.